Hello, my name's Jenny Tennyson. I'm from the Open Data Institute. Thank you for inviting me to speak today. At the Open Data Institute, we care about making a stronger data economy, and what I'm going to be talking about is how to do that in two main areas. One is to address big gaps that we see in the data economy around infrastructure, skills and innovation. And the other is the power of openness and what that means to make a fairer, more equitable data economy, one that is based on ethical manipulation of data, and also one that engages everyone in what data means. First, I'll talk about data as infrastructure and the kind of infrastructure that we need for data. We're collecting ever increasing amounts of data, whether it's from weather stations in our gardens or black boxes in our cars or about citizens and their activities. All of this data is being used by us as citizens to make decisions about our day-to-day lives, like how we move through a city, and by businesses to make decisions about where they invest and where they grow and how to make their operations more efficient. And it's used by governments to make policy decisions, like where to build new schools, for example. Data runs through all of the decisions we make in our day-to-day lives at every kind of level of society. So we think of that as being a new form of infrastructure for our society, in the same way as our transport infrastructure is maybe invisible or a part that we don't really think about day to day, but is there, and if it fails, we really notice it. If our data infrastructure fails, we really notice that. So what that means for us is that we as society need to think about where we invest in our data infrastructure. Which parts of it need to be really reliable and really high quality. If you like, we make an analogy with roads. So which parts of our data infrastructure need to be like the highways, the motorways. You can see countries like Denmark and France identifying those data sets, things like lists of companies or addresses. Those are things that it's worth investing in because we can all benefit from that data day to day. It makes a more efficient data economy. And when those pieces of data are open, everyone can benefit from them. So creating a strong data infrastructure is at the heart of creating a strong data economy. So the second area I wanted to talk about was data skills. We often think about data skills as being those that enable us to take a spreadsheet and turn it into some kind of visualization or generate a story from it or get some insights from that data. So really concentrating on data science skills. But I think we also need to be thinking about the kinds of data skills that are used by policymakers and business leaders. For example, we're working with Sport England at the moment, who want to achieve a policy objective of getting people more active. And they've recognised that having data about where people can go and take part in physical activities is a crucial part of getting people more active. So data there can be used as a tool. For people running businesses, they really need to understand how you can put a business model around data to really benefit a business. And sometimes that means buying and selling data, but often that can also mean opening up data so that more people know about the services that you're offering. People need to have the skills to understand how data can be used, even if they can't use the data themselves and to create insights. The other area of data skills we need that is sometimes not looked at so much is basic data literacy across all members of a society. So understanding how data about us is collected in various ways, and both the positive and the negative of that, the way it can be used to make decisions about what ads to show us, obviously, but also what insurance premiums we might be paying, and the way data is used, for example, in national statistics or by researchers to gain insights about that help us to make society run better for everybody's benefit. The third thing here is to talk about data innovation and how we drive use of data. I think one of the things we've learned over the last few years is that it's not enough to just put data out there and hope something happens with it, although data does get picked up and used sometimes without there being extra effort. But if you really want to get the benefits of data, you have to encourage that somehow. At the Open Data Institute, then we've been doing things like challenges with Nesta. We've been running the Open Data Challenge series, and that showed how you can build sustainable products and services. So by focusing data use and innovation around particular challenges, I think that we can both drive the creation of the products and services that actually help society, and also feed back into the places where we really need to have data and learn from what's needed in order to identify where we invest, as I was talking about earlier, in the data infrastructure that we need in order to address those challenges. So really what I'm talking about there is innovation that's focused on impact, that's focused on the challenges that we find within a particular sector, and then supporting and nurturing the small companies or even the large companies who are developing new business models and new ways of using data in order to address those challenges. So I've talked about building a strong data infrastructure, about creating skills, and about driving innovation. And all of those things can happen, but we can still be ultimately unsatisfied with the data economy that we build. I think that there are three areas that we also have to look at to make sure that the data infrastructure, the skills that we build, the innovation that we do really works for everyone, is something that really benefits us as society. And those three areas are about equity, they're about ethics, and about engagement. In terms of equity, we really need to be building a data infrastructure and a data environment that works for everyone. There is a danger that those who have money can get hold of data and have more data skills in order to manipulate it, in order to get better insights from it, and so that those who are rich get richer in knowledge than those who are poorer, and that those kinds of that kind of inequity can be accelerated by the availability of data rather than being addressed by the availability of data. Second area is ethics. If we don't have trust in the way that data is being used, then we won't be able to use data to its fullest advantage. So it makes sense for us to build in ethical decision making about the way in which data is used and collected at every level of the decisions that we make. I think we need to not only think about what data is collected and make sure that that data collection is ethical, but also about the decisions that are made using data and how they affect people's lives. Being more open and transparent about the way that data is collected, used and shared means that we can get greater trust in the use of that data and therefore get more advantage out of it. And the third area is around engagement. Data shouldn't just be the province of the elite. It should be something that everybody understands and gets involved in and has a say in. We should be trying to build a society where everybody understands what are facts and what are not facts and can test those facts and know how to build their own trust in what is being told to them. And where everybody should be having a say about what skills they need, about what infrastructure, data infrastructure they need, and where they would like to see innovation happen. So openness, I think, addresses all three of these areas. Open data, open source, open access makes things more equitable. Having openness and transparency makes things more ethical. And being open with and being open to other people means that we can drive up engagement. So thank you very much for inviting me to talk today. I hope that those ideas about how we build a strong data economy resonate with you, and I'd love to hear your comments on what we should be doing together in order to make that kind of vision for a stronger data economy a reality.